Anyway, so it's a lot later in the day than I thought it would be before I'd record this again. Effectively what was happening was I didn't really sleep too well last night, so I decided to have like a bit of a power nap. I only managed to sleep probably for about an hour on and off, but it being an incredibly hot day, it generally left me to the point where I kind of had to come back to this. I was initially messing around, and I wonder if there's any of my old code in here. There is, yeah. Where I was just messing around with like a crazy nested if statement of like true and false like crap, and it was ending up getting into a sort of a state. So it being in a state, which is a kind of nifty segue to this point, I decided to actually do like a state machine sort of switch statement for how my enemies kind of interact with each other. I got the idea from looking at a previous project that I was doing earlier in the week for different types of like farming things. So it was something for college anyway, and it kind of like, I think in the Games Jam I was just really on the point of trying to figure out what the actual solution was and not actually figure out the best way of putting it back together. Anyway, what I've got here is got a switch, and it's got on path. So while the enemies are following the path, if they get in range of a particular enemy between the attack range, then it will record its last X, Y, its last position on the path, its actual index of the path that it was on. It will end its progression on the path. It will set its speed to 2. It will pick a random direction from where it currently was and start moving in that, and it will jump to the attack mode. Inside of the attack mode, it's basically just traveling in a direction at the moment, not really doing anything. It's not shooting yet, but there'll be shooting code in here because this is what that's going to do, maneuver it like evasively. If it gets too far away from its original X and Y position when it was on the path, it will change its direction to point towards that path, and then it will go to this state, which is return to path. And then if its position gets to within sort of 5 pixels or so of the actual point where it left the path, it will rejoin the path and go back to the on path bit up here. Now it kind of loops at the moment because they don't shoot or kill each other. So as soon as it breaks off the path, they'll like jostle around a little bit. They'll get too far away from their original place where they were on the path, and then they'll navigate back to the path. And because nothing's killing anything at the moment, it will get back to the path, trace a new enemy object, and then break off the path. So it kind of does this weird jostling thing. I've also made a mouse, which is not very good at this point, but it's just a way to kill off some enemies. So at the moment you can see all these, they're moving in. As soon as they get within their circle ranges, they'll break off and sort of draw a line to say, I'm looking at you. And then you can see them kind of like jostling around because they keep returning back to the path and then snapping off the path. And it kind of looks like a crude dogfight. And if I touch any of these, I can sort of kill them off a little bit. So it makes it a little bit more interesting. Well, a little bit more interesting to see what's happening, because you can see if they return to the path and there's no enemy around, they'll traverse all the way back to the end and then start the path again. Whereas this red enemy is always finding a green one. So he's always kind of fighting against them. So I reckon these fights won't go on anywhere near as long as this, probably. But what they will do is they will kind of return back to the path and continue on through. Now I need a way to kill off an enemy, say like that one. As you can see, it continues. And then have them reset from their predicted spawners. But that's kind of where I am at the moment. Kind of quite happy with my progress so far, despite all my setbacks. And I think I'm probably going to try and see if I can go to like the supermarket or something and buy some food and settle in for the evening of focusing on. I'm still quite tired, so I might have an early night. Hopefully I'll submit something tomorrow, but if I don't, I'll just continue on these devlogs to show you what I'm doing, because my to-do list is quite big. I want to fix my tile set, I want to fix my map, I want to make towers that you can place along the thing, which is the whole point of this, otherwise it's just totally a simulator at the moment. and have it kind of like fit together properly. But this is my current position.